hope this question is clear, right sir? Now please see here. One more same replica question which was asked in CAT examination. We will solve it. We will only understand the concept, sir. Once we are good in concept, we will target the examination question, and so beautifully we can solve the questions without using so many variables and making our time waste. Now see here. Now please see this question. If you see this question, Ram and Shyam. Okay, first let us read the question. Ram and Shyam run a race between A and B, between points A and B, 5 kilometers apart. Ram starts at 9 a.m. from A at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour and reaches B and returns to A at the same speed. Shyam starts at 9:45 a.m. from A at the speed of 10 kilometers per hour, reaches B and comes back to A at the same speed. At what time do Ram and Shyam meet each other for the first time? Right? At what time they will meet each other for the first time? Now let us read statement by statement. Ram and Shyam run a race between points A and B 5 kilometers apart. Now there are 2 points A and B, right? Now they are telling that the distance between A and B is given as 5 kilometers, and they are also telling that Ram and Shyam run a race between points A and B 5 kilometers apart. Later, sometime later, they are telling that both of them are starting at point A itself. That means Ram is starting from here, Shyam is also starting from point A itself. Now read the next statement. Ram starts at 9 a.m. from A. He is starting at 9 o'clock in the morning at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Now the speed of Ram is given as 5 kilometers per hour. Now what is the meaning of 5 kilometers per hour? 5 kilometers per hour means in 1 hour he will cover 5 kilometers. That means the distance that he need to cover is also 5 kilometers. That means to travel from A to B, Ram will take exactly 1 hour according to his speed. That means if he starts at 9 o'clock, Ram will be here at 10 a.m. Right? Ram will be at point B at 10 a.m. That is what is the meaning of 5 kilometers per hour. Now continue the question. He reaches B and returns to A at the same speed. Now he reaches B and he will come back to A at the same speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Right? Now next statement says Shyam starts at 9:45 a.m. Now Shyam is starting at 9:45 a.m. From A he is starting at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. Now he is traveling at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, reaches B and comes back to A at the same speed, right? And comes back to A at the same speed. Now think logically. If you think logically, what they are telling in the question is Ram is at 10 o'clock, he is at point B, right? Ram at 10 o'clock is at point B. Let us see where Shyam is at point at 10 o'clock. At which point Shyam is at 10 o'clock. Now see here, Shyam it is given as for 1 hour, he is starting at 9:45. 10 o'clock means another 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, how much distance he will travel? Now, in 1 hour, he will cover 10 kilometers. In 1 hour, he will cover 10 kilometers. 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes. In 60 minutes, he will cover 10 kilometers. But only 15 minutes is remaining for him to go to 10 o'clock, right? Or meet at 10 o'clock. That means in 15 minutes, how much he will travel? 60 divided by 4 is 15. 10 divided by 4 is 2.5 kilometers. That means he is traveling only 2.5 kilometers when the time is 10 o'clock. That means if I rewrite my diagram at 10 o'clock scenario, Ram is at point B at 10 o'clock. Ram is at point B at 10 o'clock. Shyam is at some point in the middle. He is not reached point B till. He is some point in the middle at 10 o'clock. He has only reached 2.5 kilometers from his initial point. That means out of 5 kilometers, if he has only traveled 2.5, Shyam still needs to travel remaining 2.5 kilometers. Right? He still needs to travel remaining 2.5 kilometers. Now, this person is going towards B. He is already at B, is coming back towards A. They both are traveling in the opposite direction. When they are traveling in the opposite direction, at some point M they will meet. What is the time when they are meeting is the question. Now both of them are at 10 o'clock. Getting the idea? This is nothing but my classroom class problem what I discussed in some time before. Right? Now see here, same logic. Speed is equal to distance by time, time is equal to distance by speed. Distance that both need to travel is 2.5. Both of them need to travel 2.5 divided by speed. When they are in opposite direction, speed is nothing but addition. It is 5 plus 10, 15. So this is nothing but 250 or 25 divided by 150. It is 1 by 6 hours. 1 by 6 hours is nothing but 1 by 6 into 60 minutes. It is 10 minutes. That means from 10 o'clock they both will travel for 10 more minutes. From 10 o'clock they both will travel for 10 more minutes and then they will meet. From 10 o'clock if they travel for 10 more minutes, what should be the answer? Answer is 10:10 a.m. It is a very classical logical way of solving rather than using any of the variables and wasting your time. I hope whatever the first problem which I discussed, which is a classroom problem, is actually helping you to solve two more questions which is a CAT examination questions very easily. I think this question is nothing but this is your original CAT 2005 question, sir. Please make note of that also. It is a CAT 2005 original question. I hope the approach is clear, right? Please write down this question. I hope it is clear, right, sir? Now see here, last three questions what we discussed. It is nothing but at what time they are meeting, right? When are they meeting? That means in terms of timing, sir. Now let us solve one question which is nothing but our original classroom session question, where the distance is being asked. It is not about the time in this case, it's about the distance. At what distance they are meeting. This is the same question what we discussed in our original classroom. Now, after discussing this question, we will see how beautifully we can apply in a CAT level question. Now, listen to this carefully. Now, slightly difficult one. Listen to it very carefully, sir. Now, suppose there is a train at point A. There is a train at point A. This is starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is traveling towards point B. There is another train at point B which is starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is traveling towards point A. Now, the distance between A and B, this is given as 232 kilometers. It is given in the question as 232 kilometers. Both the trains, train A will travel towards B for 9 hours. Train B also will travel towards A for 9 hours. Right? That is also what is given in the question. Your question is at some point in that what do you say, travel, they will meet, they both will meet. That point I will call it as M. Your question is, whenever they meet, what is the distance between the meeting point and the point A? That means the question is nothing but at what distance from A, will they meet is the question. I think the question is clear. At what distance from A will they meet? This is your question. Now listen to this carefully. This is the same question what we discussed in our regular class, right? Maybe the number might be different. I don't remember what is the number, but it makes no difference what is the number is what is given in the question. Now see here, same logic if I apply. I'll again rephrase the diagram, sir. Now if you see here, A, it is starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, traveling towards B. B, it is starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, traveling towards A. Now, this is traveling for 232 kilometers. This is also traveling for 232. Both of them are traveling for 9 hours. But if I solve speed of A, if I try to calculate the speed of A, speed is nothing but distance by time. Distance is 232, time is 9. 232 by 9 is nothing but some fractional value. Because that is a fractional value, if you start working the problem with fractions from now onwards, which is nothing but your first step, you will keep on getting fractions in all the steps and thereby you will take a lot of time to solve it. Let us avoid using fractions. Let us solve it without using fraction. Now, I don't want fraction, but I know that distance is constant. So what I will do is, I will assume the distance of any multiple of 9, like our previous problem itself. You take any value of your choice. I will assume it as 90. This is my assumption. According to my assumption, I will find out everything. At the last step, I will convert according to question at 232. Now see here, if I take 90, speed is nothing but 10 kilometers per hour for train A. Speed of second train is also 10 kilometers per hour. Now if I continue further, this train will start at 7 o'clock. This will start at 10 o'clock. That means till 10 o'clock, only this train is traveling alone, right? This train is traveling alone. How many hours it will travel alone? For 3 hours. In 1 hour, it will cover 10 kilometers. It will travel for 3 hours. It will travel for 3 hours and it will cover 30 kilometers. Now, this is point C. This is nothing but a point of 10 a.m. Now, after 10 o'clock, train A will continue to travel in this direction. Train will start to travel from the opposite direction, right? It will start to travel. Now, out of total 90 kilometers, 30 is already covered by train A. Remaining 60 kilometers need to be traveled by both the trains, right? Remaining 60 kilometers need to be traveled by both the trains. That means train A will continue like this, train B will start from this, both together need to travel the remaining 60 kilometers. Now same logic, speed is equal to distance by time, time is equal to distance by speed, distance is both together need to travel 60, speed is nothing but when they are in opposite direction it is the sum of the speeds, 10 plus 10 is 20, 60 by 20 is nothing but 3 hours. That means from this point C they both will travel for 3 more hours and that will become the meeting point of both the trains. They both will travel for 3 more hours and then they will meet. Right now, if both travel for 3 hours, this train in 1 hour it will cover 10 kilometers, but it will travel for 3 hours. In 3 hours it will cover how much? 30 kilometers. That means after covering 30 kilometers, they both will meet, right? They both will meet. Your question is, at what distance from A will they meet? At what distance from A will they meet? Now, if you observe carefully, according to my assumption, all these values, whatever is written on the board till now is nothing but according to my assumption. According to my assumption, at what distance from A are they meeting? Here it is 30. Here again it is 30 kilometers. That means they both are meeting after 60 kilometers. According to my assumption, meeting distance from A according to my assumption, this is nothing but 60 kilometers. But according to the question, how much they are asking? Similarly, according to my assumption, distance is 90 kilometers. According to the question, it is given as 232 kilometers. The only thing what you need to do is cross multiply and simplify. You will get the value of question mark. Don't worry about the final answer. Final answer is just your calculation part. Getting the idea? Please do not take any x and y's and waste your time unnecessarily in solving such kind of questions. Rather assume the distance as constant. You will easily solve. Instead of using fractions from the first step, every step you will avoid fractions. Only in the last step you will get the fraction, which is actually an easy thing to do. Getting the idea? Now this is the question what we have discussed in our regular class. You already know this problem, but I am not interested in this problem. I am more interested in telling you how this way of solving or how this particular problem can help you to solve original CAT question. That is my next question. First write down this question. Clear, right, everyone? Now please see here. Same question, very slight change in the question, which becomes a CAT examination question. Now listen to this. Let us read the question to understand it much more better. Until I complete this question, please do not write anything. It is the original CAT 2001 question. Now please listen to this carefully, sir. First let us read the question. Now, train X departs from station A at 11 am for station B, which is 180 kilometers far. Now they are telling that there is a train X. This will start at 11 am and it will travel towards station B, right? This is the station A. It will travel towards station B, which is 180 kilometers far. The distance between these 2 points is given as 180 kilometers, right? That's the first statement. Next, second statement. Train Y departs from station B at 11 am for station A. Train Y also departs at 11 am. That means they both are starting at same time, right? They both are starting at same time. Now, please read the next statement. Train X travels at an average speed of 72 kilometers per hour. The speed of the first train is given as 72 kilometers per hour and does not stop anywhere until it arrives at station B. This will not stop anywhere. It keeps on continuously traveling till station B, right? Next, train Y travels at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour. This will travel at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour, but has to stop for 20 minutes at station C. There is some station called as station C. Here it will stop there for 20 minutes, right? Here it will stop there for 20 minutes, which is 60 kilometers away from station B en route to station A. That means from B to here, from B to C, the distance given is 60 kilometers, right? From B to C, the distance given is 60 kilometers. Now, your question is, ignoring the length of the train, what is the distance to the nearest kilometer from station A to the point where the trains cross each other? That is nothing but they are asking like the previous question, at what distance from A will they meet, right? That's what they are asking. Now, see here, same analogy we will implement here, sir. Now, same logic if you implement here. Now, what they are telling is, if you observe C, they are telling that the speed of this second train, that means train Y is given as 60 kilometers per hour. In 1 hour it will cover 60 kilometers. That means to cover from here to here, which is 60 kilometers, it will take 1 hour. 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes, right? It will take 1 hour 60 minutes. Now they are telling that it will take 60 minutes from Y to C, or from B to C rather, right? From B to C it will take 60 minutes, and it will also halt at point C for 20 minutes. That means totally from point B to point C, that means for train Y to start again from point C, it will take 80 minutes. 60 minutes of travel from B to C, 20 minutes of halt. That means after 80 minutes, train Y will start again from point C. That is the meaning of it. I hope it is clear, right? Now it will take totally 80 minutes from here to start again for train Y. Now in that same 80 minutes, what will this train do? First of all, both of them are starting at same time, right? Now how much will this train cover? Let us see. Train X is in 1 hour it will cover 72 kilometers. That means in 60 minutes it will cover 72 kilometers. But we want for 80 minutes how much? In 60 minutes 72. In 80 minutes how much? So question mark is nothing but 80 into 72 divided by 60. This is 3 into 4. 3 and 4 times. This is 24. 2 into 24 is 96 kilometers. That means in the same 80 minutes, what train Y took to come from point B to point C and taking rest there for 20 minutes and again starting. In the same 80 minutes, train X, it will actually cover how many kilometers? It will cover 96 kilometers. That means in 80 minutes, 96 kilometers is covered by train X. That is the meaning of it. Now continue the question, sir. Out of total 180 kilometers, 96 is covered by train X, and how much is covered by here? 60 kilometers is covered by train Y. That means out of 180 kilometers, 96 plus 60, 156 kilometers is already covered by both the trains. Remaining 24 kilometers need to be covered by both the trains, and they are traveling in the opposite direction. Right? Remaining 24 need to be covered. Same logic. Speed is equal to distance by time. Time is equal to distance by speed. Distance that they both need to cover is 24 remaining. Speed is nothing but sum of the speeds. 72 plus 60 is 132. So 24 by 132. How many times it will go? So it will be 6 times, or 12. 12 into 2, 12 into 11. So 2 by 11 hours. 2 by 11 hours they will take. That means they both will travel for 2 by 11 hours and then they will meet. That is the meaning of it. That means this train, it will from this point, it will travel for 2 by 11 hours and then it will meet that other train. That means this train is in 1 hour it will cover 72 kilometers, but it will travel for another 2 by 11 hours. So 1 is becoming 2 by 11 into 2 by 11. 72 into 2 by 11 is it is 144 by 11 kilometers. The 144 by 11 is nothing but 11 into 13. 11 into 13 is 143. 13 1 by 11 kilometers. It is 13.09 kilometers. That means from this point they both will travel for 13.09 kilometers, and this will become the meeting point. From 96 kilometers, the question is at what distance from A will they meet is the question. From A, if I take, already 96 is covered, another 13.09 should be covered. So answer to the nearest integer is 96 plus 13.09. So it is 109.09, which is rounded off to the nearest integer as 109 kilometers. So answer for this question is 109 kilometers. If you observe, there is no difference between the previous question and this question, except there is a 20 minutes of halt in this place. It makes no difference if you know the concept. If you are good in concept, you can easily crack some of the most difficult question in the most easiest way. Idea clear? Please write down. I hope it is clear, right, sir? Understanding the approach. Learn the concept what we have discussed in the regular class, implement in an exam question. Right? Now see here. Now listen to this carefully. Now please listen to the next question. The next question is a very good and an interesting question. It is not a CAT examination question, but it's a very high quality question. Now Please read the question. Patik and Rahi started from two places, Andheri and Bhavnagar, towards Bhavnagar and Andheri respectively at 8:20 am. Now, what they are telling is there are two people, Patik and Rahi, right? There are two people, Patik and Rahi. These two people are starting from two places, Andheri and Bhavnagar, where I will call it as A and B respectively, and they are traveling towards their opposite destination, and they both of them are starting at the same time 8:20 am. This is what is given in the first statement, right? This is what is given in the first statement. Now, please read the next statement. The speeds of Patik and Rahi are in the ratio 4:5. That means the speed ratio of Patik and Rahi is given as 4:5. This is what is given in the second statement. They meet at Chandni Chowk, somewhere between Andheri and Bhavnagar, spent some time together for coffee and burger, and then both started towards their destination at 9:27 am. Now what they are telling is they both are traveling in the opposite direction. They will meet at some point Chandni Chowk, I will call it as C, right? They will meet there, spend some time at point C, and they will again start towards their respective destination at 9:27 am. That means 9:27 am is the time both of them will again start traveling towards their destination. It is not that 9:27 am is not the time where they are meeting, right? Please be very careful with that point. That is where most of students will make a mistake. Now, if Patik reaches Bhavnagar at 10:32 am, how much time did they spend together? Now, Patik will reach Bhavnagar at 10:32 am. How much time they both spent together at Chandni Chowk is the question. Right, now see here. Let us solve in one of the very innovative ways of solving. Now see here. Speed ratios of Patik and Rahi is given as 4:5. So can I say that if the speed ratio is 4:5, the time ratio will become 5:4. The time ratio will become 5:4 because the distance they both are traveling is constant. If distance is constant, speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. Right, now listen to this carefully. Patik is coming from A. He will come to C. He will spend some time at C, and after spending some time, he will start traveling from C to B. He will start at 9:27 am and he will reach B at 10:32 am. That means the time taken by Patik to travel from C to B, how much time? 9:27 to 10:32. It is nothing but 1 hour 5 minutes. That means the time taken by Patik from C to B according to the question is 1 hour 5 minutes. 1 hour 5 minutes is nothing but 65 minutes. That means according to question, time from C to B by Patik, it is 65 minutes, but according to ratio it is 5 minutes. 5 should become 65, multiply by 13. 4 also multiply by 13. 4 into 13 is 52 minutes. That means time taken by Rahi to travel from B to C, it is nothing but 52 minutes. Right? Time taken from Rahi to travel from B to C is nothing but 52 minutes. That means from B to C, Rahi is taking 52 minutes. He is starting at 8:20. He will take 52 minutes and he will reach point C. 52 minutes from 8:20 is nothing but 9:12 am. That means Rahi will meet C at 9:12 am. If he is meeting C at 9:12 am and if he is again leaving C at 9:27 am, how much time he is there at point C spending time with Patik? 15 minutes. 9:12, 9:27. What is the difference? 15 minutes. Answer for this question is 15 minutes. Very logical way of solving by using the concept of ratios and inversely proportional concept of speed and time. Please do not apply any variables or formulas which is given in some of the Google links or some of the textbooks also. Idea clear, sir? Very good question which can be solved so easily. Please write on this question. I think the approach is clear, right, till here? Clear, everyone? Now please see here. Before we move on to the next concepts or next problems, first let us understand what is the meaning of compound ratios or the concept behind compound ratios. This is already discussed in detail in ratio proportion topic, but I just explain once again for the purpose of solving some CAT questions. Now see here. Suppose, first let us understand the concepts, sir. One example or two examples I will take, then we will move on to problems. Suppose A is to B is 2 is to 3. B is to C is 4 is to 5. I want to find A is to B is to C, right? I want to find A is to B is to C. Step number 1. To get the first variable, multiply all the first terms. What is 2 into 4? 8. Similarly, To get the last variable, multiply all the last terms. What is 3 into 5? 15. Now, if you observe carefully, the middle variable b is missing, right? The middle variable is b is missing. Now, this is nothing but a is to b. Compare with original a is to b. Original a is to b, a value is 2, but here it is 8. 2 is becoming 8, multiply by 4, right? 2 is becoming 8, multiply by 4. 3 also multiply by 4. What is 3 into 4? 12. That means here it should be 12. Answer is 8 is to 12 is to 15. Now, for the people who did not understand, one more example. A is to B is 3 is to 2. B is to C is 3 is to 4. C is to D is some number 2 is to 5. I want to find A is to B is to C is to D, right? I want to find A is to B is to C is to D. Same logic I will apply here, sir. To get the first variable, multiply all the first terms. 3 into 3 into 2 is 18. Similarly, to get the last variable, multiply all the last terms. 2 into 4, 8, 8 into 5, 40. Now there are two variables missing, B and C. Compare with original values. This is A is to B. Compare with original A is to B. Originally A value is 3, but here it is 18. 3 is becoming 18. Multiply by 6. 2 also multiply by 6. 2 into 6 is 12. This is B is to C. Compare with original B is to C. Original B value is 3, but here it is 12. 3 is becoming 12 into 4. 4 into 4 is 16. This should be the answer. Idea clear? Now, this is the concept of compound ratios. We have solved some of the application of compound ratios in ratio proportion topic also. But let us see what is the original examination question which came in CAT exam by using this concept. Now please see the next question. Now if you see the question, now please see this question, sir. The question is like this, sir. Your question is, if A is to B is equal to, or A by B is given by 1 by 3, B by C is given as 2, C by D is given as 1 by 2, D by E is given as 3, E by F is given as 1 by 4. You need to find the value of ABC divided by DEF, right? You need to find the value of ABC divided by DEF. Now see here, same logic. A by B is 1 by 3, A is to B is 1 is to 3, B is to C is 2 is to 1, C is to D is 1 is to 2, right? This is 1 is to 2, D is to E is 3 is to 1, E is to F is 1 is to 4. Now I want to find A is to B is to C is to D is to E is to F. Now same logic. To get A, multiply all the first terms. 1 into 2 into 3, it is 6. Similarly, to get D or to get F, multiply all the last terms. 3 into 2, 6, 6 into 4, 24. Now, there are 4 more variables which are missing. Compare with original. 6, this is A is to B. 1 is becoming 6 into 6. 3 into 6 is 18. B is to C. 2 is becoming 18 into 9. 1 into 9 is 9. C is to D. 1 is becoming 9 into 9. 2 into 9 is 18. D is to E. 3 is becoming 18 into 6. 1 into 6 is 6. E is to F. 6 is to 24 is nothing but 1 is to 4 only, right? But they are not asking A is to B is to D, C is to D to E to F value. Rather they are asking ABC divided by DEF value. ABC divided by DEF is, ABC is 6 into 18 into 9. 6 into 18 into 9 divided by DEF is 18 into 6 into 24, right? 18 into 6 into 24. Now if I simplify, 6 into 18, 6 into 18 cancels. This is 9 by 24. 3 into 3, 3 into 8. So your answer should be 3 by 8, right? Answer of all this question is 3 by 8. This is nothing but your original question which came in CAT 2006. The same question whatever came in the examination, I just now explained for you. Idea clear? Please write. It's a very easy concept. Now, please see here, sir. Now let us solve some questions based on a very important and interesting topic which is on mixtures and allegations. Right now, same logic. We will try to solve some questions which are not CAT examination questions. We will implement the same logic in CAT examination question. Now listen to this carefully. Now first read the question. In a mixture of 80 liters, that means they are telling that there is a vessel. There is a vessel. The initial volume is given as 80 liters, right? Initial volume is given as 80 liters. In a mixture of 80 liters, milk and water are in the ratio 7:3. That means the initial ratio of milk and water, this is given as 7:3, right? Initial ratio is given as 7:3. If 24 liters of this mixture is replaced by 16 milliliters of milk. That means I am taking out 24 liters of mixture and I am replacing this with 16 liters of milk. Right? I am replacing this with 16 liters of milk. Your question is find the final ratio of milk and water. What is the final ratio of milk and water inside the vessel? That is the question. Now, this is nothing but the original question what we have solved in our regular classroom sessions. The same question including the same numbers we have already solved in a topic called as mixture. Right? Now, again I will explain you so that you will understand how our classroom problems will actually become the inline process for your solving CAT examination question. Now see here, same logic, do not write anything. Now first of all, how much milk is present? Milk is nothing but out of total 7 plus 3, 10 liters. 7 liters belongs to milk and the total volume is 80. 7 into 8 is 56 liters. Out of 80 liters, if milk is 56 liters, then the water will be remaining 24 liters. The water is remaining 24 liters. Now see here, you need to find the final ratio of milk and water. Final ratio of milk and water is nothing but initial ratio is 56 by 24. That is nothing but 7:3. Right? Now from this ratio of 56:24, I am taking out 24 liters of mixture. Mixture is nothing but a combination of both milk and water. I am taking out 24 liters of mixture. In what ratio should I take out this 24 liters of mixture? In the same ratio 7:3. That means taking out is nothing but negative sign. Out of total 7 plus 3, 10 liters. 7 liters of milk is taken out and total taken out is 24. Similarly, out of total 7 plus 3, 10 liters. 3 liters of water is taken out and total taken out is 24. Right? Total taken out is 24 and you are adding 16 liters of milk into the vessel. Are you adding any water into the vessel? No, you are not adding any water. So water should be 0. Take LCM, simplify and finally you will end up with the answer. Don't worry about the final answer. Final answer is just nothing but simplifying this and getting the value. Right? This should be the method. I hope it is clear. Right? It's the same problem what we have discussed in our regular class also. Now listen to the actual question. Now same analogy whatever we have done here, we will use it for the next question. Now please see the question which is nothing but the question which was asked in CAT 2004. It's a CAT original 2004 question. Same question we are discussing right now. Now listen to this sir. A milkman mixes 20 liters of water with 80 liters of milk. That means the initial ratio of milk and water is given as 20 liters of water with 80 liters of milk. That means initial ratio of milk and water is 4:1. Instead of writing it as water is to milk, I am writing it as milk and water because I am more habituated to that. You can also write it as water is to milk because everywhere I use mainly milk and water. Milk is the first parameter for me, so I am just changing it reverse. It makes no difference. Now please see here. After selling 1/4 of this mixture, that means there is a vessel initially. Initial volume is nothing but 80 plus 20, which is nothing but 100 liters of mixture. Right? It is 100 liters of mixture. Same like this. Now, next statement says after selling 1/4 of this mixture, 1/4 is nothing but 25%. That means out of 100 liters, 1/4 of 100 is you are taking out 25 liters of mixture. Right? You are taking out 25 liters of mixture. He adds water to replenish the quantity that he had sold. That means whatever the mixture which he has taken out, he will add the same quantity of water so that there is no change in the final volume. That means if it is 100, it will again become 100. It's what they are telling, right? What is the current proportion of water to milk? That means they are asking you what is the final ratio of milk is to water. In fact, they are asking water is to milk. Let us change it at the final step once we get milk is to water. Now see here, there is no difference between this question and that question. Exactly the same way how you solved your classroom question, please solve the same way. Now see here, same logic. Initial ratio of milk and water. Initial ratio of milk and water is nothing but 4:1. Right? It is given as 4:1, and they are already telling that 80 liters of milk is there, 20 liters of water is there. Now apply the same logic. Final ratio of milk and water I require. Initially it is 80 by 20. Right? Initially it is 80 by 20. Now I am taking out 25 liters of the mixture. In what ratio I am taking out? Again I am taking out in the same ratio. That means 4:1. Out of total 4 plus 1, 5 liters. 4 liters of milk is taken out and total taken out is 25. Out of total 5 liters, 1 liter of water is taken out and total taken out is 25. You are not adding any milk into the vessel, but you are adding 25 liters of water. Add 25 here. Now if I simplify, this is 5 times, this is also 5 times. This becomes 80 minus 20 is 60 divided by 20 minus 5, 15. 15 plus 25 is 40. 60 by 40 is 3 by 2. Final ratio of milk is to water is 3 by 2. But the question says, what is the final ratio of water is to milk? Reverse it. It is nothing but 2 is to 3. There is no difference between the previous question and the original examination question. Both are same, right? Understanding the approach? You understand this, replicate the same thing in the examination question. That is how you need to learn the concept. Please write down this question. Clear, sir? Now, please see here. Let us continue solving some questions in mixtures and alligation. Now, please see here. Next question. Now, this is nothing but original question what we have taken in our regular class. What I am dictating right now. Now, the question is two alloys containing copper and iron in the ratio 5:8 and 5:3 are melted in equal quantities. Please underline that word, equal quantities. Right? They are melted in equal quantities. What is the final concept? What is the final ratio of copper and iron in the resultant alloy? Right? What is the final ratio of copper and iron in the resultant alloy? Now see here. They are telling that there are two alloys, alloy 1 and alloy 2. Right? Two alloys containing copper and iron in the ratio 5:8 and 5:3. They are melted in equal quantities. That is what they are telling in the question. Now, if you see here, first alloy, 5 units of copper is there, 8 units of iron is there. Totally 13 units of alloy is present, right? Or the combination is present. Second alloy, 5 units of copper, 3 units of iron. Totally 8 units. Question says they are melted in equal quantities. But 13 and 8, are they equal? Are they equal? No, they are not equal. 13 and 8, they are not equal. But the question says they should be equal. So make them equal. What is the number which can be made as the same number from 13 and 8? Which is nothing but the LCM. That's what I explained the LCM concept earlier. Right? That means LCM of 13 and 8 is 104. That means 13 should become 104 multiplied by 8. 8 should become 104 multiplied by 13. Now if I rephrase the diagram, alloy 1 and alloy 2, copper and iron, 5 into 8, 40, 8 into 8, 64, 5 into 13, 65, 3 into 13, 39. The resultant is nothing but 40. If you want check it out, 40 plus 64 is 104. 65 plus 39 is also 104. They are melted in equal quantities, right? That's what we made it actually, right? Now if you want, the resultant is 40 plus 65, it is 105. 64 plus 39, it is 103. So answer for this is 105 is to 103. Now you might get it out. Sir, there are only 2 parameters. Is it also valid when there are 3 parameters? Yes, it is valid for any number of parameters. This is not an examination question, but this kind of questions are also very important for your examination. Now, if you see here, next question is nothing but a question where it involves 3 parameters, but it makes no difference. That is also not an examination question, but still it's a very good question. Now see here, please do not take it as 5x, 8x and all those things and make yourself little complicated, sir. It's a very easy way of solving by using ratios. Now, before you write it, first listen to the next question. Same logic. The ratio of alcohol and water in 3 mixtures of alcohol and water is 3:2, 4:1 and 7:3. Now they are telling that there are 3 mixtures. Mixture 1, mixture 2, mixture 3. In these 3 mixtures, alcohol and water ratio is 3:2, 4:1, 7:3. This is what is given in the first statement. Next, please continue the question. If equal quantities of mixtures are drawn and mixed, it is similar to they are melted in equal quantities. That's what they are telling in a different way. If equal quantities are drawn and mixed, that means here 5, here also 4 plus 1, 5, here it is 7 plus 3, 10. They are not equal. 5 and 10 should be made equal as the same number. What is that number? LCM of 5 and 10 is 10. So you should make it as 10. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 1. That means if I rephrase the diagram, it becomes mixtures 1, 2 and 3. alcohol and water is 3:2 into 2 is 6:4, 4:1 into 2 is 8:2, this is 7:3 into 1 is 7:3, right? Now what is the main question? Find the concentration of alcohol in the resultant mixture, right? In the resultant mixture, what is the concentration of alcohol? Now if I simplify, 6 plus 4, 8, 6 plus 8 is 14, 14 plus 7 is 21, is 2, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 3, 9. That means 21:9 is the final ratio of alcohol and water. But they are asking the concentration of alcohol in the resultant mixture. Alcohol concentration is out of total 21 plus 30. Out of total 21 plus 30, 21 parts belongs to alcohol. So 21 by 30 is nothing but 7 by 10. 7 by 10 is nothing but 70%. Concentration of alcohol in the resultant mixture is how much? 70%. There is no difference between these two questions. Whether it is 2 parameters or 3 parameters, it really does not make any difference as long as you are using this kind of approaches. Idea clear, sir? Please write down. Please see the next question. Next question is a classic question where it involves the usage of ratios. In fact, the two questions which we solved just now of concentrations of milk and water or whatever it is, alcohol and water, it also involves the concept of ratios rather than variables. But this question explains you so beautifully how a ratio can be solved or ratio can be used rather. Now see here, it's a very easy question by using ratios concept. Now first read the question. A vessel has 10 ml of solution of milk and water containing 20% milk. Now they are telling that there is a vessel has 10 ml of solution of milk and water containing 20% milk. That means the mixture of milk and water present is 10 ml. Out of this 10 ml, 20% is milk. Now what is 20% of 10? 1 by 5 of 10 is 2 ml. That means 2 ml is milk and the remaining 8 ml should be water, right? The remaining 8 ml should be water. This is what is given in the first statement, right? This is what the first statement says. Now please read the next statement. X ml of milk was added to the vessel. I am adding X ml of milk into the vessel to reverse this ratio. Now first of all, what is the initial ratio of milk and water? Initial ratio of milk and water is 2:8, which is nothing but 1:4. Now I am adding X ml of water into the vessel. X ml of milk into the vessel, X ml of milk was added into the vessel to reverse this ratio. When I add X ml of milk into the vessel, the ratio of 1:4 will reverse. It will become 4:1. Now think logically. What is the statement they are telling? They are telling that you are adding X ml of milk. If I add milk into the vessel, will the water quantity change? No, the water quantity will not change because you are adding milk. The water, whatever which was there earlier in the vessel, the same quantity of water also will be there in the vessel finally because you are not adding any water initially. That means if you add milk into the vessel, the water quantity is unaltered. That means initially water is 8 ml. Finally also it will be 8 ml itself, but you are adding some ml of milk, that is X ml of milk. I don't know what is the value of X, but if I add X ml of milk, this 1:4 will reverse as 4:1, right? It will reverse as 4:1. Now see, think logically, solve by using ratios. If you observe carefully, according to ratio water is 1, but according to question it is 8. 1 is becoming 8, multiply by 8. 4 also should be multiplied by 8. 4 into 8 is how much? 32. That means earlier it was 2 ml of milk. Now it is becoming 32 ml of milk. 2 ml of milk to become 32 ml of milk. How much ml of milk you have added? 30 ml of milk is added. That means X value is nothing but 30, right? The question says X ml of milk is added. We found out that X ml of milk added is nothing but 30 ml of milk is added, right? Now continue the question, sir. The next statement says Y ml of water was then added to the vessel to reverse the ratio once again. That means you are again adding Y ml of water into the vessel to reverse the ratio once again. Now if you are adding water into the vessel, milk will not change. How much ever milk was present earlier, same milk will be present now also because you are adding water, not the milk. If it is 32, here also it will be 32, but you are adding some water. That I don't know how much it is. They are telling it as Y. We don't know what is the value of Y right now because you are adding Y ml of water, this ratio will again reverse itself. That means 4:1 will again become 1:4. Now again the same logic, sir. If you observe here, according to ratio milk is 1, According to question 32, 1 into 32 is 32, 4 also into 32. 4 into 32 is 168. That means earlier, 4 into 32 is how much? 128. Sorry, there is a mistake here. 4 into 32 is 128. That means earlier you had 8 ml of water. Now you have 128 ml of water. For 8 ml of water to become 128 ml of water, how much extra water you need to add? 120 ml of water you need to add. That means y value is nothing but 120, right? Y value is nothing but 120, because they are telling in the question that y ml of water is added. That means 120 ml of water is added. Now, what is the main question? Your main question is find the value of x plus y. X plus y is nothing but 30 plus 120, so it should be 150. It's a very, very beautiful way of solving by the usage of variables. Sorry, not by the usage of variables, but by usage of ratios. Please do not apply any variables. First of all, question has given variables x and y, and you yourself use it again two variables a and b or whatever it is. You will unnecessarily make the problem very complicated, which actually can be solved very, very easily by using the concept of ratios. Idea clear, sir? It's a classical question by using concept of ratios. Please write down this question. Now please see here, we have already discussed the concept of alligations in our regular classes, right? Now I will not discuss in detail, but I will just give a glimpse of alligations. Now see here, suppose concept of alligations. Now I will not discuss it completely, sir, because the complete explanation and the proof, everything is given in our regular class itself. Now see here, suppose if I tell that the price of the first product is P1 and the first quantity is Q1, it is mixed with the price of the second product is P2 and the second quantity is Q2. Your average is nothing but, if I call my average as P, average is nothing but price into consumption, P1 into Q1 plus P2 into Q2 divided by Q1 plus Q2, right? Divided by Q1 plus Q2. This is what we have discussed in mixture, right? This is our mixture. You can refer to our regular classroom session. You will understand it much more better how you got this actually, right? Now, alligations is nothing but in mixtures actually. In mixtures, the price of the product will be given. The prices of both the products will be given. The quantity in which the ratio in which the two products are mixed. That means the quantity ratio, Q1 by Q2 ratio will be given. You need to find the average price, right? You need to find the average price. But in alligation is nothing but the reverse of mixture. It is nothing but the prices of two products will be given. Average price is given as P, right? Average price is given as P. You need to find the ratio in which the two products are mixed. That means Q1 by Q2 ratio we need to find. This is given by P2 minus P. That means highest minus average divided by P minus P1. It is P minus P1, average minus the lowest. How you got this ratio, how you got the relationship, we have completely discussed in detail in our regular class. Please refer to that video, you will understand it much more better. That means the only difference between mixtures and alligations is in mixtures, prices will be given. The ratio in which the two products are mixed will be given. You need to find the average price. But in alligation, prices will be given. Average price will be given. You need to find the ratio in which the two products are mixed. That is given by P2 minus P divided by P minus P1. This is nothing but the concept of alligation. Now, using this concept, we will solve some very, very good questions by the usage of alligations or by the concept of alligation. First, write down this concept. I hope the concept is clear, right? Now, please see here. Using this, we will solve some questions. Now, listen to this carefully, sir. Same logic as we were doing from the past few hours, same logic. I will solve a question which is discussed in our regular class, then it's a original examination question. Now, first read the question which is discussed in the class. The question is like this. Fresh dates contain 90% of water while dry dates contain 28% of water, right? Fresh dates contain 90% water while dry dates contain 28% water. Your question is, how many kgs of dry dates can be made from 36 kgs of fresh dates, right? How many kgs of dry dates can be made from 36 kgs of fresh dates? Now see here, think logically. There are three parameters in this question. One is the fresh dates, the second one is the dry dates, and the third one is the water. Now, you need to think in such a way that which two parameters if I combine, I will get the resultant as the third parameter. Which two parameters if I combine, I will get the resultant as the third parameter. Now, think logically. I have fresh dates, I have dry dates, and I also have a water. That means if I put water into the dry dates, then the resultant will be fresh. Water coupled with dry dates plus water will actually give you the fresh dates. That means whatever we are combining is dry dates we are combining with water, and the resultant whatever we are getting is nothing but the average, that is nothing but the fresh date, right? That is nothing but a fresh date. Now please read the question again. Fresh date contain 90% water. That means fresh date is having 90% water. This is the nothing but the resultant. While dry dates contain 28% water. This is what is given in the question. Now, how many kgs of dry dates can be obtained from 36 kgs of fresh dates is the question. Now think logically. Dry dates contain 28% of water. Water contain how much percent of water? Water is nothing but water itself. That means water will contain 100% of water, and fresh dates contain 90% of water. If I combine these two parameters, I will get the resultant as the fresh date. Now you can allocate it. Dry dates divided by water is nothing but 100 minus 90, it is 10, divided by 90 minus 28. 90 minus 28 is how much? It is 62. So this is nothing but 5 divided by 31. That means dry dates is to water is nothing but 5 is to 31. Right? Now what is your question? Your question is how many kgs of fresh dates can be obtained? Sorry, how many kgs of dry dates can be obtained from 36 kgs of fresh dates. Fresh date is nothing but dry plus water, right? Dry plus water is fresh. That means 5 plus 31. Totally from the ratio, how many kgs of fresh dates is available? 36 kgs. 5 plus 31 is 36. That means from this 36 kgs of fresh dates, how many kgs of dry dates can be obtained? 5. Answer is 5 kgs. Answer for this question is 5 kgs. Getting the idea? From 36 kgs of fresh dates, which is nothing but combination of dry and water, you can obtain 5 kgs of dry dates. That is what is asked in the question. Now, this is nothing but our classroom question, right? Now, please see the original question which came in the examination in CAT 2001. Now, this is nothing but the original examination question, which is exactly similar to whatever we have solved right now. Please read the question, sir. Fresh grapes. Now instead of dates, they are only telling it as grapes. It makes no difference. Fresh grapes contain 90% water by weight, while dry grapes contain 20% water by weight. What is the weight of dry grapes available from 20 kgs of fresh grapes? Now same logic. If I combine dry and water, I will get fresh quantity. Now, fresh dates contain 90% water. This is given as 90 resultant. While dry dates contain 20%. This is given as 20. Water contain 100% of water. Now, question, if I allocate it, dry by water is 90 minus 10. 100 minus 90, it is 10. 90 minus 20, it is 70. 10 by 70 is 1 by 7. That is nothing but dry is to water is 1:7. Right? Dry is to water is 1:7. Your question is what is the weight of dry grapes available from 20 kgs of fresh grapes? Now, according to ratio, how much of fresh grapes is available? Fresh grapes according to ratio is 7 plus 1. It is nothing but 8 kgs. But question says it should be 20 kgs. 8 should become 20 multiplied by 20 by 8. 20 by 8 is nothing but how much? 5 by 2. Right? Similarly, according to the ratio, dry grape is 1 unit or 1 kg. According to question, how much they are asking in the question, that also multiplied by 5 by 2. 5 by 2 or 2.5. 1 into 2.5 is 2.5 kg. There is no difference between the question solved in the class and the question given in the examination. Only the numbers are different. It makes no difference if the numbers are different. Idea clear, sir? Please read. Clear? Please see the next question. Next one is also a question based on allegation, but it's a very good question. Now see here. The students of 3 classes X, Y and Z wrote a test. Now there are 3 classes X, Y and Z. Right? This is what they have given in the first statement. The average marks of the students of X, Y and Z are 70, 81 and 90 respectively. This is 70, 81 and 90 respectively. Right? Next, continue with the question. The average marks of the students of X and Y is 76. X and Y it is given as 76. The average marks of the students of Y and Z is given as 86. These two average is given as 86. Find the average marks of the students of all the three classes to the nearest integer. Right? To the nearest integer. Now, same logic if I apply. Now listen to this carefully. X by Y, if I alligate it, X by Y is equal to 81 minus 76, 5. 76 minus 70, it is 6. That means X is to Y is nothing but 5 is to 6. Right? X is to Y is nothing but 5 is to 6. Same logic. Y by Z. Y by Z is given by 90 minus 86, 4. 86 minus 81, it is 5. That means Y is to Z is given as 4 is to 5. Right? Y is to Z is given as 4 is to 5. X is to Y is known, Y is to Z is known. And we know the compound ratio application already. Please apply the compound ratio application. X is to Y is 5 is to 6. Y is to Z is 4 is to 5. That means X is to Y is to Z is nothing but 5 into 4, 20. 6 into 5, 30. 5 is becoming 20 into 4. 4 into 4, 6 into 4 is 24, which can be further simplified as 10 is to 12 is to 15. Right? It is 10 is to 12 is to 15. But the question says, find the average marks of all the three sections of, find the average marks of, what is the question, sir? Please read the question. Find the average marks of the students of all the three classes to the nearest integer. That means average marks is, there are 70 students, they are getting 10 marks at the average. That means average is 70 into 10. Plus 81 into 12, right? 81 into 12 plus 90 into 15, 90 into 15 divided by 10 plus 12, 22, 22 plus 15 is 37. If I simplify this, I'll approximately get it as 81. So answer to the nearest integer is 81. Getting the idea? This is nothing but a usage of alligation plus the compound ratio application. It is a combination of two concepts, whatever we have discussed till now. Please write down.
You can learn any subject, anywhere, any place, and on the go. Come, let us go the other way in learning. Download our revolutionary app for free AMC.